the staff who work so tirelessly behind the scenes, who make sure that everyone is ready, who make sure that everyone knows what they need to do, and don't always get the credit they deserve. Thank you very much for your efforts as well. We really appreciate it. To the media, you have been absolutely fantastic in profiling this team. To the fans who were at the stadium, it was amazing to hear them sing the South African songs, and along the way, we attracted more fans in the stadium who were not South African. You know, to the fans back home who were watching on television, we really felt you. We felt you. We know that this team is much loved, this team is much supported. But we're not where we want to be, but we're getting there. We have to now start looking forward to the COSAFA Cup. We are the defending champions, and obviously qualification for the World Cup. So once again to the team, qualification for Olympics, sorry. I'm thinking even further ahead. Once again to this fantastic group, players and staff, you have been amazing, you have been incredible. You could not have done more than you have done. And for that, I'm truly grateful and blessed to be part of such a wonderful group. To the South African Football Association for their support and their efforts, and more importantly to Cecil. You saw the advert, Glug Glug. What can I say? They have been fantastic in their support behind us. They have been absolutely amazing in their support behind us. So we are very grateful and very blessed. Thank you very much.
Coach, let's let the team off the field, but on the field we had another incredible leader in the captain, Janine van Dijk. Captain, over to you to say a few words.
Good morning, everyone. Honestly, it feels like I'm back in France with the support that we've been getting. Thank you, Mama Joy. Yeah, on the players' behalf, I think we've had a fantastic experience. Our first time representing our amazing country at the World Cup. And we knew right from the start that it was going to be a tough one for us, especially with the three teams that we were grouped in. It was really not easy out there, and a lot of people would say you could have won Spain, you could have beat China, and Germany was a little bit tough. But out there on the pitch, you really give your all, and I could see, I could sense, and I'm sure everyone back home and everyone watching could sense the fighting spirit and the character that we showed on that field, and we really, really honestly couldn't have done more. We've prepared well, we've had great preparation, the technical team prepared us well enough, and it was up to us, of course. And we really fought, and I'm sure everyone jumped off their seat when Thembi Kgatlana scored that goal and thought, wow, look at this team go. And it wasn't a comeback goal, it was our first World Cup in the opening game against Spain, and we were really fired up. And of course, in the first game we had a bit of nerves. It's normal, it's natural for any athlete to compete at that stage for the very first time, and you're going to have to perform, and knowing that the world is watching you. And we went there with an objective to get out of the group stage, yes, and we failed to do that, yes. But we didn't fail to make our country proud. We didn't fail to put out everything we had. We didn't fail to put our bodies on the line. We didn't fail to attack teams if we watched the German team. And although we lost 4-0 in the second half, I think we spent most of that second half in their team. And I'm sure the world got a glimpse of what women's football is about in South Africa and the talent that we produce here. And I'm pretty sure and confident that there's a lot of players that will get contracts overseas, and people that will reach out. And even though we don't have professional leagues just yet put in place, all these teams that we compete against compete at a high level every single day, week in, week out. Whereas us, we are getting to that. So a lot of people expected much of us. A lot of people expected us to lift the trophy. But in all reality, in all fairness, we are in a building block phase. We have to build in order to reach success. And it's not just going to happen overnight, and people need to realize that. But on behalf of the team, we have really given our everything. You saw us walking here, dragging our feet. We have given everything. We don't have energy anymore. I don't have energy to even sing anymore. And that is what has caught the eye of the world. Our spirit coming off the bus, singing, dancing. That's what people really enjoyed about the South African team. And that's what it's going to be missing currently at the World Cup, people coming in taking photos and pictures of us when we get out off the bus to sing, even though we played our last game possibly against Germany, we still came out as winners. And most of you probably didn't see it, but after the game against Germany, we all made our rounds around the field, and every single person in that stadium applauded this team because of the way we displayed our football. So it's not the end for us. This is just the beginning. And we have another mission ahead of us, which is the COSAFA Cup. And that is high pressure on us, and I don't feel that it shouldn't be, because we are seen as a World Cup team, competed at a world stage, and we need to keep that status as a team. And we need to go out, it will give our confidence, we'll get our confidence back as a team, and show the world that we competed at the high level and we are ranked as a team that is able to compete against the best in the world. And despite the results, I'm sure every single opponent feared us, let me tell you. So we are ready for our next mission, and just again, thank you for all the support that we have been receiving from home. In the stadiums, there were South African flags everywhere. People that weren't even South African supported South Africa. So it was fantastic, a fantastic atmosphere, fantastic journey, and one that we'll cherish for the rest of our lives. Thank you.
I'm going to break from, thank you very much, Janine. I'm going to break from protocol. I might be fired for this. But we scored one goal at the World Cup, and I think it's only proper that we ask Tembi to come forward and just explain to us what happened there. Because it was a beautiful goal and could be contender for goal of the tournament. Tembi, please come forward.
Yes, yes.
As you heard Janine say, everyone gave their all, but I think we should ask Tembi to just say a few words.
Tell them about your group.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the warm welcome back at home. I think everyone on the table has said their words. Putting me on the spotlight. Just to briefly talk about the goal, I think the coaches and the technical team were always encouraging me in training that I get into good positions and I must start taking shots. And the moment I got into that position, I knew that it was time for me to take a shot because the keeper's not ready. And when I opened my eyes, the ball was behind the net, and I took that opportunity. And I think all the ones that I didn't take in our training sessions were the ones that led to that moment, because when I took that shot, I didn't hesitate. I knew I was in the right moment, and I had to take the shot. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me also say that, as you're aware, that the president of the South African Football Association is not here. He's rendered his apology as he's in a CAF meeting in Cairo. And also, we've just received a message from the Minister of Sports, the newly appointed Minister of Sports, Mr. Natim Tetwa, who's also caught up in meetings. So he sent an email here which we were asked to read, and it goes this way. Let me take this opportunity and welcome back our team Banyana Banyana from the 2019 FIFA Women's World Cup currently taking place in France, which was a historic achievement in itself. We are proud of your gallant performance and while representing our country on the world stage, hoisting our flag high. Your artistic and skillful display show the world what you are capable of. Your sense of pride was evident in how you carried yourself on and off the field as the sporting ambassadors of our country. The time I spent with you in France, in Le Havre, watching your first game against Spain was such a proud moment, and your performance was nothing short of breathtaking. You have made your name on the world stage. You have made your dreams come true. You have represented our country with pride and the African continent at large. We salute and congratulate you. I would have loved to have met you upon your arrival back in the country, but unfortunately due to prior commitments in Cape Town, I could not make it. Yours, Mr. N. Mtetwa, MP, Minister of Sports and Culture. I think we should give him a round of applause for that Now, members of the media, we're going to take a couple of questions. We're going to take a couple of questions. Just to know that, as Janine said, they can't even sing, so they might not be even time for one-on-ones. So I'll appreciate if you can ask all your questions here so that when we depart from this hall, we all go our separate ways, because there won't be time for one-on-ones. So if you can just ask your questions now, say who you are, where you're from, and who the question is directed to, because we've got a panel here that will answer all your questions. Do we have another mic, sir? Okay.
Charles Baloy from Daily Sun, Sunny Sun, Media 24 Division. Just want to start by congratulating Sasol for supporting women's football. Well done, Coach. There's for what you've done and the players. Coach, what were the lessons that you learned from this whole World Cup campaign? And what is your biggest wish in women's football? We don't have a professional league. We're playing against countries that have leagues and we will put there the world stage. To the Honorable SABC, welcome to sport. And then what is your biggest wish for women's sports, in particular in football? Something that can change the landscape, because women are fighting, but they need a little bit of support.
We showed with our conditioning that we're right up there with the rest of the world. We're very close. We have to improve on a lot of things ourselves, in the game itself. Keeping more the ball. We're good when we do that. That's one of the things, that the so-called better teams do, or the higher ranked teams do. But one of the other things is, the biggest thing is to be clinical in front of goal. You get one opportunity and you need to take that opportunity, but the experience gained is second to none. As Janine said, we need to go out now and show, especially at the COSAFA Cup, what we've gained, what we've learned at the World Cup. We need to show why we were one of 24 out of 211 federations that got to the World Cup. And that for us is going to be key, because the players gave their all. And as you said, we don't have a professional league. A national league is anticipated to start. But my biggest prayer and hope is that players get overseas contracts. You look at the Nigerian team and the Cameroonian team, a lot of their players play abroad. And that experience that you get there, playing at the high level, training at the high level each and every day, and playing at the high level each and every week is second to none. And you've played countries that play in the Champions League, and that is top level football. So I'm sure the effort that the players have put in, getting a contract abroad and going to play there, you can see how players coming back from abroad, how mature they are, how they do things a little bit differently. How you look at Tembi, for example, she's matured over the last couple of years. And that is important for us, for players to take that step up as well. And when we take that step up and get clinical in front of goal, I remember in 2016, a journalist at the AFCON said, if Banyana can sort out the attack, they can beat any team in the world, and that is true.
Thanks, Coach. I fully agree with you. I think there's definitely an acknowledgement from government that we need to do more to assist women's sport in general. I mean, I identify so much with this team, and I hear, you listen to the coach and you listen to the captain, and they speak about the amount of work that they need to put in. And it's really across the board and within every sector. I mean, as women, you do feel that you need to work twice as hard just to get the recognition that men enjoy, So we do need to level the playing field, and government needs to come on part, and that's why we've committed ourselves. We've already started work. I mean, we've been working with SAFA, and we are really committed to strengthening their efforts to professionalize and to build this professional league, because we understand that the moment you do that, it will assist not only for them to be able to get to train on a regular basis, to be competitive, to get that competitive edge they require, but also you're able to draw in a lot more funding, which is what they equally need, because you do need to ensure that you pump in as much resources as possible towards their growth, not just the growth of the sport itself, but towards their own personal development. So we are going to work very closely with them, and we have committed. The minister, I'm glad because he has indicated that unfortunately he can't be here, but he did want to be. And he's just as committed as the rest of us are within provinces to ensure that we assist the girl child as much as possible. It doesn't just end with them. I've indicated that working together with education, we want to even develop school sports and focus on the girl child, because we understand, like I say, across the board, whether it's swimming, it's equestrian, and so forth and so forth. But we do need to pay particular attention to women in sports and how we develop it, because we know and understand just how much more they have to work just to get a little bit of recognition. So we really are committed to you, and we had to make sure that we are here to welcome you back, just to show, so that we don't just speak, but we must show you physically that we are with you, and we are here to strengthen your efforts. We are here to ensure, coach, whatever assistance you require, we will work with the bodies to make sure that you get whatever the assistance you require from our end.
Do you have any more questions? Gentlemen?
Tamba Shabalala Joseph from Sports. Coach, you've come all the way from being a caretaker coach, interim coach, whatever term they can use, and now you are in charge of the whole team, and you've managed to build this sisterhood within your team. What's left for you apart from winning anything else in terms of the growth of South African football, in terms of women, and the role of sponsors like Sasol having stood by your side through thick and thin with this team when other corporates go and fight for places within Bafana, within Kaizer Chiefs, within Pirates, but then Sasol just decided to stay by your side. And in MEC, you've got a lot of passion from what I see, talking about women football. Your take on the state of South African football, not having a fully fledged women team with 18 teams in the PSL, and without anything done for the women except for the 2 teams that have got female teams within themselves.
You know, before the Germany game, the German coach and I was chatting, and she said she's got a lot of respect for this team. She said the rankings don't do us justice, and it showed by the lineups she chose, because they had already qualified for the next round. And this team has the amazing ability to play against any team. As I said, we have the COSAFA Cup coming up. That's obviously next, and the Olympic qualifiers, because it would be amazing for this group to qualify for the Olympics as well, which be 3rd time back to back, and use the experience that we've gained from the World Cup to get even better, because there's a lot of room for improvement. And each and every time when you go to tournament, you see the improvement with the team. So there's growth in that. From Sasol's side, I mean, their support has been second to none. You know, we speak about most probably, and I'm not sure if I'm going to get into trouble, but we speak about if Sasol was not here, I'm not sure what would have happened, because the tremendous support that they have given, you know, unwavering, taken their sponsors away from other sports and come to women's football at second to none. It's just taken it to a different level. And we urge corporates all the time to come on board to help Sasol, because they can't do it alone, because you need more funding to do more things. And you know, in LFAs there's under 13 and under 15 and under 17 leagues. You also have the COSAFA Cup for the under 20s coming up, and the African Games coming up. So there's a lot happening in women's football. And hopefully through all our efforts, the synergy with the other coaches, you know, we can only get better and better, because as I said, we're there to take the next jump, and the next jump is to really go out there and beat the top nations, you know, but it's going to take a while. It's going to take an effort from everyone. And as you see, the effort's already been there by SAFA, by Sasol. You know, the interaction with the other coaches, the under 20 coach, under 23 coach, etc., Coach Stewart, the support and the support and just the interaction with them back at the office is second to none. You know, as coaches, we mustn't be afraid to ask for help. We mustn't be afraid to interact, and we mustn't be afraid to share ideas, because it can only help us going forward. And that has been tremendous on the side of the office, that you can just step into Coach Francis' office and have a chat, and the next minute you're busy on the flip chart. And for that support, we're also very grateful. But for Sasol, we cannot thank them enough. And I think the performance shown at the World Cup, it's an attitude of gratitude to say thank you very much.
Thanks. I think you're absolutely correct with your question. I see, sorry, I hear you to be saying and to be putting really a challenge for us together with SAFA to say in the next 5 years, when the next World Cup does come around, there must be a huge, a drastic change in how things are. We definitely need to, if anything, make sure that we do establish that professional league and begin the steps towards that, so that, like I say, in the 5 years, there must be a huge distinction. We can't be sitting here saying the same thing again. And we really take up the challenge. We are committed, we're here with the girls, and we are definitely going to travel this journey with you.
Mina Tatela from Newsroom Africa, Channel 405 on DSTV. Just firstly to the coach, you talked about COSAFA, the next big thing, but we seem to be conquering Africa or doing very well. How do you see now that after the experience in France, that part of your roster must be going to Europe, must be going to South America, at least getting 3 or 4 internationals against these top teams, so our ladies, by the time the Olympics come or the World Cup comes, they know exactly of the level they'll be coming up against. And to Janine, just with the sense of you've been there for a while, a couple of players, ladies, women have been part of the Banyana Banyana team, just the way you see the transition of you guys, you know, in a sense, drawing back and allowing the new blood to come in, because I don't imagine that you play for Banyana forever. At some point, wow, you will come you will come to a point where the legs can't carry you. How do you see that transition where the old guards like you know, mentor and we start ushering the new bloods? And just lastly, your thoughts and the girls' thoughts on VAR.
Oh.
As you've seen over the last 2 years, SAFA and SASL have already made a commitment. We've played the USA twice in 3 years. We've played the Netherlands, we've played Sweden twice in 3 years. So they've already shown their commitment to us playing some of the best teams in the world, because that is where you challenge yourself, that is where you then grow. But as I said before, it's important that players play consistently at the high level, not just international football, but club football, and also train at the high level, because it starts there, really, before you even go to play top international teams. Because when you look at players coming from abroad and you speak to them, there's a lot of things that they maybe do differently that I did at club and some do at clubs. And it's through lack of resources at clubs itself, and with the challenge that they have, that players work, etc. But we have to consistently, day in, day out, train at that level, and every week play at that level to be able to then, you know, play the likes of the USA, play the likes of Germany, and compete and eventually beat those teams, but it's got to start there.
Yeah, we have a great mixture of team right now. Players that have been here for a very long time, experienced players. And then obviously young blood coming through, which is phenomenal. I think the talent that we produce in this country is amazing, and I think there's so many girls out there that still haven't been recognized out there and haven't had that opportunity yet. But what we have now, I mean, this is the future of Banyana Banyana. You look at Linda, already playing overseas, played at 2 professional clubs already. Kalosa Sibulele, under 17 national captain, that's here. So the talent in South Africa is absolutely phenomenal, and there's a very bright future for women's football in our country. And when the leagues are put in place, the structures are put in place, and we play at high level competition week in, week out, we can beat any team, because I don't see any other team out there have the skill and the ability that we have and can produce in this country. In terms of VAR, yeah, the first game we hated VAR, the whole tournament we hated VAR, but at the end of the day, if it was for us in the first, second game, third game, then everyone would be like, wow, we love wow. And at the end of the day, it's something that's been put in place to help the assistant with the calls, the referee with the calls. But I do feel that it was highly unfair to test this VAR out at a Women's World Cup, where referees and the VAR system was not as experienced as it has been. It's just been introduced into the UEFA league. It hasn't even been reached Premier League yet, and I just think that they just threw it out there to test at the Women's World Cup, which I feel was unfair. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, and we learn from it. It's going to be there. It's not going to be taken away, and we have to just accept it.
I see some sleepy faces in that section of the room, so we're going to wrap it up with the last question, sir.
Matlamola.
My name is Mahlatse from Chinese Media. Coach, Coach, we keep on talking about the gap that our girls are at the moment, and the rest of the top teams in the world. Are you in a position to quantify, how far are we, and what will it take? I know a new league is coming where they'll play competitive football and professional football leading up into the next World Cup. What do we really need to do in the next 5 years for them to be on the same level to Germany, USA, and some of the top teams in the world? How far are we in terms of where they are now?
As I said in my previous answer, it's important to train at the highest level each and every day. And currently, with all due respect, at the SABC League, players train twice a week, thrice a week. Sometimes at clubs, there's not everyone pitches. So I'm saying condition-wise, we're up there. But I'm not talking about a gap. I'm talking about players need to play consistently at the highest level. Week in, week out, need to train every single day at the highest level, week in, week out. Then you'll see the results coming. Because we've shown at the World Cup, we've shown when we've played teams that we compete. But they obviously play every single day, train every single day, and play every single day at a certain level. And that's what I'm talking about. For us to be there with the rest of the world, that is what we need to do. Train every day, high level, play every week. Not 1 week you win 5-0, the next week it's a tough match, the third week you win 20-0. So if you play at that level consistently, then you'll get the results you want.
Before we get a vote of thanks, I'm going to ask Head of Delegation, Mr. Mahendras, to just stand and if you can just make way here so the MEC can come forward, and if you can just swap seats so the MEC can receive her gift from the MEC, from the Head of Delegation.
Definitely. We'll definitely frame this.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'll now ask NEC member, Mr. William Walker, to just give a vote of thanks so we can all get out of here and go get some rest. Mr. Walker.
Good morning all. Let me take this opportunity to thank South Africa for coming and welcome our team, regardless of the outcome, and also thank the Gauteng government, MEC. Thank you very much. You have shown that you are a host indeed by coming and welcoming the team, and that gives encouragement to the players out there to say, regardless of the outcome, like everybody has said, we still going to make it. Thank you, the media, for coming, and I think you'll take this up with the rest of the people who are not there to see that our team is back. The heads are still up, and it's a learning curve. That's where you start. And then when you come in, you get walloped. And then from there, you have experience. And experience is the best teacher. So, like everybody said, I hope you've learned a lesson, and then we're going to go out. And for Gauteng government, thank you very much for really taking us serious when you said we want to launch the National League. And then I know you never let us down. You said you are going to be with us. The MEC has just confirmed that. And then the MEC comes in while this is being on the card already. We've started this discussion for some time. And I'm sure you're going to help us taking this forward. Sason, we cannot leave you behind because really you've shown unwavering support throughout this campaign, and I know where you're coming from. You're coming from Amatuktu and all that, and you're still there. And I hope as we grow, I wish you also grow with us, so that then in the next 5 years, we talk different language, we talk different results, and we talk different approach to football. And this is the only thing that can make us grow. Lastly, let me thank you, the team, for going out there, represent us. You've done us proud, and I hope you're still going to make us proud. The technical team and all the staff members, those who were there, thank you very much. And Mama Joy, I know the French television and back home knows about you. Thank you very much for going out there. With those words, still say, please, Vivian, help us grow, criticize where it's due, and praise us where it's due. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. With that, we've come to the end of our proceedings. So before you go, I'm going to ask the top table to come. In fact, before that, members of the media, can you take your cables off the table? We're done. So then, no more stories. So if you can just take off your